What if I told you that as a creative, one of the most productive things you could do is watch your favorite Netflix show, listen to your favorite podcast, or even just go on a random walk? There are multiple types of creatives, and you don't need to be a designer or an artist to be a creative. A creative is just someone that tries to find solutions, whether that be an artist, a web designer like me, or a manager that's trying to find a way to optimize his team. We live in a world where we creatives are asked to come up with new ideas, new solutions all the time. We're asked to create on demand. And well, coming up with new creative ideas all the time like that is not easy, especially now that billions and billions of ideas have already been created and explored. Nowadays, finding completely new and creative ideas upon request like that is almost impossible. There's a concept in physics that says nothing is created, nothing is destroyed, everything is transformed. And the same concept can be applied to creativity. Creativity is about finding new ideas between different ideas, or in other words, linking ideas together to create new ideas. So the more ideas you see or consume, the more ideas you'll get, right? Well, yes and no. If you want to generate tons of creative ideas, you need to think of the things you consume as being inputs. And there are three main things to consider. The first one is the quality of these inputs, the second one is the diversity, and the third one is how you gather them and turn them into useful ideas. You can gather useful inputs from tons of different sources, such as by reading books, listening to your favorite podcast, even from binging your favorite Netflix show.
What's his name?
But some inputs are better quality than others. I work as a web designer, and binging a show like The Office, while entertaining, might not be the best place for me to gather inputs. But let's say you're a comedian, maybe you're trying to find new ideas for your next sketch. Well, a show like The Office or just even Netflix specials might give you a lot of useful inputs for your next show. The quality of an input is kind of relative to what you do. I work as a web designer, and I've been spending a lot of time watching videos on YouTube on how to make videos on YouTube, and that doesn't help with my web design, but it's been helping me a lot with YouTube. It's also important to adapt your inputs depending on what kind of project you're working on, and that leads me to my next point. We can and should take inspiration from a lot of different sources. Diversity encourages the search for novel information as well as different perspectives, which can help you create better ideas. In my day-to-day as a web designer, going to a random pet shop and petting dogs all day might not seem like a really productive day, but let's say I have a client that has a pet shop, and going to that pet shop might give me new ideas for different colors. I might get ideas from the fonts they're using on their products, or maybe that one really happy dog makes me want to do a really happy and colorful website. There are a ton of different types of sources to gather input from, whether that be podcasts, audiobooks, Netflix, YouTube, whatever you want. You really want to make sure that you try to find ideas that aren't always the same. You want to make sure that you challenge your ideas. That way you'll be able to create stronger and better ideas. Going back to the idea that creativity is about linking different ideas together and creating new ideas from that, having a lot of diversity in the original ideas means that your new ideas will be better. You'll also be able to bring a new perspective to your different problems. For my website, I might see a page somewhere that I find really inspiring, and I might try to use a solution that they took to solve a specific problem and try to use that in one of my current projects. I've also found that different kinds of inputs bring different types of ideas. So when I'm listening to podcasts or YouTube, the inputs I get are typically based on other people's experience. And then, I have to do more research and stuff to turn those inputs into useful ideas. Whereas books are typically more researched. So the ideas I'll get from books are usually backed by facts and research already. No matter where you get your inputs from, you need to find a way to gather them somewhere and transform them into useful ideas. When I'm working, I always keep this journal open, and whenever I have a new idea, I just write it down. I find it faster to write things down on a notebook than opening a program and then typing my notes. Also, if I'm in a meeting, it's a lot more polite to take notes in a notebook than on your phone. Lately, however, I've been getting almost all of my ideas at the gym for some reason, and I don't bring this whole thing with me when I'm at the gym, so I've just been keeping Notion open on my phone, and whenever I get an idea, I note it down there. How many times have you found a new idea that you thought was brilliant and you wouldn't forget about it? And you did. And now that you have all of your ideas somewhere, you want to make sure that you spend some time reviewing those ideas. I typically do this about once a week. I try to organize my ideas and I try to link some of them together. So that way when I grab a new idea for, let's say, a video, I have a bit more context to work with. You can make me a part of the inputs by following me down below. And if you already have a ton of ideas, you're just struggling to start, check out this video that I made on beating procrastination. Have a good day and create something cool.